The scout ship Celestial Observer hung motionless against the black of space. Its sleek silver hull reflected the distant sun of this unexplored system. Inside the main control room, Commander Xeltharian studied the blue-green planet on the main screen. "Initial scans complete, Commander," said Officer Kiravex. Her four-fingered hands moved across the control panel. "Planet appears to be Class 6. Oxygen-nitrogen atmosphere, large water bodies, complex life forms detected." Commander Xeltharian nodded, his pale blue skin wrinkling around his large eyes. The Galactic Federation had clear rules about first contact. Class 6 worlds often had primitive life, sometimes even early civilizations. Such planets required careful study before any approach. "Run a deeper scan," he ordered. "Let's be certain before we send our report." Kiravex worked quietly for several minutes, her expression growing more concerned. "Commander, you should see this data." Xeltharian moved to her station and looked at the readings. His eyes widened. "This can't be right," he said. "Check again." "I've run the scan 3 times," Kiravex replied. "The gravity is 1.3 times our standard. The atmosphere contains multiple compounds we classify as toxic. Temperature variations range from -50 to +50 units in different regions, and the life form readings." She paused. "The planet has thousands of apex predator species. Some of the insects alone would be classified as dangerous wildlife on our homeworld." Xeltharian stepped back. "This isn't a Class 6 world. Update the classification to Class 9. Class 9 planets were rarely visited by Federation ships. They were deemed too hostile for comfortable exploration, and intelligent life almost never evolved in such harsh conditions." "Sir," said the communications officer suddenly, "we're receiving a transmission. It's coming from the planet." The bridge fell silent. A Class 9 planet with technology advanced enough for space communications. Impossible. "Put it on screen," ordered Xeltharian. The screen flickered, and a face appeared. It looked somewhat like the Federation's mammalian species, but with less fur and more angular features. The being wore some kind of uniform with symbols on the shoulders. "This is Captain Susan Miller of the United States Space Force vessel U.S. Frontier. You're currently in Earth orbital space. Please identify yourselves." The crew of the Celestial Observer stared in shock. "They detected us through our cloaking field," whispered the tactical officer. Xeltharian composed himself and stepped forward. "I am Commander Xeltharian of the Galactic Federation scout ship Celestial Observer. We are on a peaceful mission of exploration." The human's expression remained calm. "I understand. This is humanity's first confirmed contact with extraterrestrial intelligence. We would like to establish diplomatic relations." "Of course," Xeltharian replied automatically, still processing the situation. "We would be honored." After arranging a formal meeting, the transmission ended. The bridge erupted in excited conversation. "How is this possible?" asked the tactical officer. "Our scans show their ship has minimal shielding. The radiation levels alone in their system should make space travel very difficult." Kiravex was reviewing the data again. "Commander, these beings, these humans, they evolved on this planet. They breathe this atmosphere. They live in these gravity conditions. They coexist with all these predator species." "That can't be right," said Xeltharian. "No intelligent species has ever evolved past primitive stages on anything beyond a Class 7 world." "The evidence suggests otherwise," Kiravex replied. "And there's more. Their communications suggest multiple nations, a complex global civilization, and they've already achieved space travel. Their technology is less advanced than ours, but given their environment." Xeltharian looked again at the blue-green planet on the screen. "Send a priority message to Federation Command. We've made contact with an intelligent species from a Class 9 world. Request diplomatic team and scientific advisors." Lieutenant John Hayes stood beside Captain Miller on the bridge of the U.S. Frontier. "Think they were surprised to find us here?" he asked with a slight smile. Captain Miller nodded. Did you see their reaction when they got a good look at Earth? I'm betting we don't fit their normal contact protocols. Let's hope that's a good thing, Hayes replied. First contact is historic enough without complications. Neither of them could have guessed that at that very moment, the Federation was reclassifying Earth from Class 9 to Class 11 as more data came in about their world, a planet that the rest of the galaxy would consider almost impossibly hostile to intelligent life. 2 weeks after first contact, a Federation diplomatic vessel landed at Andrews Air Force Base near Washington, D.C. A small crowd of military personnel, government officials, and selected press watched as the sleek ship settled onto the tarmac. Dr. Alice Wright adjusted her glasses and whispered to Major Kevin Brown, "They're really here, actual aliens." "Stay sharp," the major replied. "We don't know what to expect." When the ship's door opened, the human delegation tensed. 3 beings emerged, each wearing what appeared to be some kind of breathing apparatus. They moved carefully, as if every step required effort. Captain Susan Miller stepped forward as the official greeting officer. "Welcome to Earth. I'm Captain Miller. We spoke via transmission." The tallest alien, Commander Exceltherian, bowed slightly. "Captain Miller, the Federation is honored by this meeting." His voice sounded strange through his translator device. "May I present Federation diplomat Saru Mack and Science Officer Kiravex." The introductions continued, but Dr. Wright noticed how the aliens struggled. "They're having trouble with our gravity," she whispered to Major Brown. "And our air," he added, noting their breathing equipment. At the reception inside a nearby building, the aliens sat while most humans stood. Diplomat Zurumak explained, "Your gravity is quite challenging for us. Most Federation species evolved on worlds with 60 to 70% of Earth's gravitational pull." "Really?" Dr. Wright said. "I never considered our gravity might be unusually strong. Many aspects of your world are extreme by galactic standards," said Science Officer Kiravex. She consulted a device on her wrist. "Your atmospheric oxygen content is higher than 95% of inhabited worlds. Your temperature variations would be considered disaster conditions on many planets." Secretary of State Richard Garcia smiled politely. "Earth has always been home to us. We've adapted to its conditions over millions of years." "That is precisely what fascinates us," said Kiravex. "Your species has not only survived but built an advanced civilization on a world we would classify as highly hostile." Lieutenant John Hayes, serving as the military's diplomatic specialist, leaned forward. "What exactly does that mean, highly hostile?" Commander Exceltherian exchanged glances with his colleagues. "In our classification system, Earth was initially designated Class 6. After deeper scans revealed your atmospheric composition, gravity, weather patterns, and biodiversity, we reclassified it as Class 9. After learning about your volcanic activity, tectonic plate movement, solar radiation levels, and microbial ecosystem," added Kiravex, "we updated the classification to Class 11. The humans exchanged confused looks. "Is that bad?" asked Dr. Wright. "Not bad," said Zuru Mack carefully. "Just unusual. Most intelligent species evolve on worlds rated Class 3 to 5. These are planets with stable climates, moderate gravity, few natural disasters, and limited numbers of predator species." Major Brown laughed. "Sounds boring." The aliens stared at him, their expressions unreadable. "What's the highest classification?" Secretary Garcia asked. Class 12 was considered the theoretical maximum for a planet that could support complex life, said Kiravex, until we found Earth. Later that evening, the Federation representatives were shown to special quarters designed to lower the gravity and adjust the air mixture to their comfort. Meanwhile, the human team gathered to discuss the day's revelations. "They think we're tough," said Major Brown, grinning. "They think we're frightening," corrected Lieutenant Hayes. "Did you see how they reacted when you laughed? They're terrified of us." Captain Miller nodded thoughtfully. "We need to be careful. These beings see our normal as their extreme. That could lead to misunderstandings. Dr. Wright was reviewing the data the Federation had shared. According to this, we've technologically advanced faster than any species they've encountered. Most take twice as long to reach spaceflight. Makes sense, said Hayes. Living on a dangerous world pushes innovation. Secretary Garcia looked out the window at the alien ship. This changes everything. We're not just meeting aliens. We're meeting aliens who think we're the remarkable ones. He paused. Let's make sure we live up to that reputation. As they spoke, Commander Xeltharian was sending a private message to Federation Command. Humans appear peaceful, but their physical capabilities and comfort with their hostile environment suggest potential we cannot ignore. Recommend careful approach. These beings have evolved to thrive where most would barely survive. 1 month into the cultural exchange program, the Federation delegation and human representatives met in a conference room at the International Space Cooperation Center. The aliens had begun to adjust to Earth's conditions, though they still wore breathing filters and moved carefully in the higher gravity. Dr. Alice Wright was explaining Earth's ecosystem when it happened. Our planet has over 8 million known species, she said, though some scientists believe the actual number could be. A small black spider crawled across the conference table. Lieutenant John Hayes noticed it first, but paid little attention. It was just a common house spider, barely the size of a quarter. He was about to gently brush it aside when Diplomat Surumak let out a high-pitched shriek. The entire Federation delegation jumped back from the table. Commander Xeltharian actually knocked over his chair in his haste to retreat. Apex micro-predator, Science Officer Kirevex shouted, pointing a trembling finger at the spider. Major Kevin Brown looked confused. It's just a house spider. Venomous hunter species, Kirevex said, her voice shaking. Is it aggressive? Are we in its territory? Dr. Wright's eyes widened as she realized what was happening. No, it's harmless. This little guy couldn't hurt anyone. She calmly picked up a paper and let the spider crawl onto it, then walked to an open window and set it free outside. The Federation delegates stared at her in shock. You touched it, Commander Xeltharian said, with your bare skin. Dr. Wright looked puzzled. Well, yes, it's just a spider. You have direct contact with venomous predators regularly, asked Kirevex. Dr. Wright glanced at Captain Miller, who gave a small shrug. We have about 40,000 spider species on Earth, she explained. Most are harmless to humans. We just live alongside them. The silence in the room was thick enough to cut. How many of these species are venomous? Asked Surumak finally. Around 4,000 or so can bite humans, but only about 30 species have venom that causes serious harm, Dr. Wright replied. They mostly avoid people. Major Brown chuckled. My daughter keeps a tarantula as a pet. Big fuzzy spider. Feeds it crickets. The aliens exchanged horrified glances. You keep predators as companions? Commander Xeltharian asked. Some people do, said Lieutenant Hayes. Most common pets are dogs and cats, though. They were predators, too, before domestication. That evening, William Bill Carter, the arachnologist Dr. Wright had called for backup, gave the Federation team a presentation on Earth's spiders. The aliens watched in fascinated horror as he showed images of spider species from around the world. The Brazilian wandering spider has the most toxic venom, Bill explained cheerfully. One bite can cause painful erections in human males that last for hours, sometimes requiring medical intervention. Secretary Garcia cleared his throat loudly, but Bill continued. The Darwin bark spider produces the strongest known natural fiber in the world, 10 times stronger than Kevlar by weight, and the jumping spider can leap over 50 times its body length. Science Officer Kirevex recorded everything, her initial fear now mixed with scientific curiosity. And humans simply coexist with these creatures. Most people don't even notice them, Bill replied. Though some folks are afraid of spiders, we call it arachnophobia. A reasonable response, muttered Zurumak. Later, in their private quarters, the Federation team held an emergency meeting. "This changes everything," said Commander Exceltherian. "A planet with thousands of venomous species, and the dominant life form treats them as inconsequential. I'm recommending Earth be reclassified," said Kiravex. "Class 13. Class 13 doesn't exist," said Zurumak. "It does now," Kiravex replied. "No known world has such biodiversity combined with such extreme conditions. The fact that humans evolved intelligence in this environment defies all our previous understanding." Commander Exceltherian nodded slowly. "Send the recommendation, and add that these humans may be the most durable sentient species we've ever encountered. A species that treats apex predators as pets is not one to be underestimated." Across the city, unaware of their new classification, Captain Miller raised a glass with Lieutenant Hayes. "To new friends," she said. "Even if they're terrified of spiders," Hayes added with a smile. News of Earth's Class 13 designation spread quickly through the galaxy. Captain Susan Miller and Lieutenant John Hayes found themselves invited to the Federation capital world, Harmonious Unity. The journey took 3 weeks aboard a Federation starship. "This gravity feels strange," said Hayes as they walked through the spaceport. "Like I might float away if I jumped too hard." Captain Miller nodded. "Their standard is about 65% of Earth's pull. Watch your movements. We could accidentally break things here." They were greeted by Science Officer Kiravex, who had returned ahead of them to present her findings. "Your arrival has caused quite a stir," she told them as they boarded a transport pod. "Many council members requested to meet you personally." "Is that good or bad?" asked Hayes. Kiravex's expression was hard to read. "Both. Some see Earth as a valuable potential ally. Others fear what your kind represents." The transport pod glided silently through crystal towers that caught the light of twin suns. Everything seemed delicate and perfectly designed. "It's beautiful," said Miller, "but it feels fragile." "Most Federation worlds have few natural disasters or extreme weather," said Kiravex. "Our buildings reflect this stability." At the council chamber, representatives from 27 species waited. Some looked humanoid, others were completely alien in form. All watched the humans with intense interest. High Counselor Vexmurim, a tall being with silver skin, stepped forward. "We welcome Earth's representatives. Your world has become quite famous in recent weeks." "Famous for being dangerous," added another counselor, his tone less friendly. "We thank you for your hospitality," Captain Miller replied diplomatically. "Before we discuss Earth's application for Federation membership," said Vexmurim, "we have received concerning reports from the Traxian border." Images appeared on a large screen showing ships of unfamiliar design. "The Purity Collective," explained Kiravex quietly to the humans, "a group of species who believe the galaxy should be cleansed of lesser beings." "They've increased their fleet movements since learning about Earth," said another counselor. "They fear what your species represents." "What do we represent?" asked Hayes. "Unpredictability," said High Counselor Vexmurim. "Evolution from a world they considered impossible for intelligent life. You challenged their belief in their own superiority." Captain Miller studied the ship formations. Their positioning suggests preparation for a strike, not just defense. The council members looked at her with surprise. "You recognize military formations from a species you've never encountered?" asked a reptilian counselor. Miller nodded. "Basic tactics are often universal. These ships are positioned for rapid deployment, not border patrol." "Captain Miller has extensive military experience," explained Hayes. "Earth has had its share of conflicts." This created a stir among the council. One member leaned forward. "You have wars on your world." "We've had many throughout our history," Miller said carefully, "though we've made progress toward lasting peace." "A species evolved for combat on a Class 13 world," murmured one counselor to another. "No wonder the collective is concerned." "We're not evolved for combat," Hayes clarified. "We're evolved for survival in challenging conditions." The distinction may be lost on the collective, said High Counselor Vex Merim. Nevertheless, Earth's application for Federation membership will be fast-tracked. We value your unique perspective. Later, at their assigned quarters, Miller and Hayes adjusted the gravity and atmospheric settings to Earth normal. Did you see how they looked at us? Hayes asked. Like we're some kind of super soldiers. They're afraid, Miller replied. Not just of the collective, but a little bit of us too. We need to tread carefully. Outside their door, Kira Vex was reporting to Commander Excel Therian, who had been promoted to oversee human relations. I've analyzed their physical capabilities more thoroughly, she said. Their endurance is twice that of any council species. Their immune systems can fight off pathogens that would devastate our worlds, and their bone density would allow them to survive impacts that would kill most of us instantly. Do they understand how different they are? Asked Exceltherian. No, said Kira Vex. To them, they're just normal. That's what makes them so remarkable and so dangerous. The warning came at 3:17 a.m. Earth time. Federation sensors detected Purity Collective ships dropping out of faster-than-light travel near the edge of the solar system. By the time Earth's defense systems activated, the Collective had already launched attacks on the moon base and 3 orbital stations. They're targeting our communications first, Captain Susan Miller reported from the bridge of the U.S. frontier. Her ship had been retrofitted with Federation technology and now served as Earth's primary defense vessel. Classic first strike pattern. Secretary Garcia's face appeared on the main screen from the emergency command center below. Captain, the Federation Council has authorized full defensive measures. They're sending ships, but they'll take hours to arrive. We can't wait that long, Miller replied. Request permission to engage. Granted. Good hunting, Captain. Lieutenant Hayes manned the tactical station. Collective ships approaching Mars orbit. They're moving faster than we predicted. They think we're easy prey, Miller said. Let's change their minds. The U.S. frontier accelerated toward the incoming fleet. 3 Federation observer ships followed at a safe distance, their crews watching with a mixture of curiosity and concern. They're broadcasting something, said the communications officer. It's being transmitted to Earth and all our stations. The main screen showed a collective commander, his gray skin and elongated head, marking him as a Traxian elite. Primitive Deathworlders, he announced. Your aberrant evolution ends today. Surrender now for a quick death, or resist and suffer greatly. Miller smiled thinly. Send our response. Hayes looked up. What response, Captain? Target their lid ship and fire main batteries. The Frontier's weapons blaze. Energy beams struck the lead collective vessel, causing significant damage to its forward section. The entire collective fleet seemed to hesitate. They didn't expect us to have weapons that could hurt them, Hayes said. Tactical advantage of being underestimated, Miller replied. All stations, engage as planned. What followed shocked even the Federation observers. The human ship executed maneuvers that subjected its crew to G-forces that would incapacitate most species. Captain Miller had studied collective tactics and exploited their standard formations, which assumed opponents would avoid dangerous proximity to solar radiation bands. The Frontier didn't avoid these hazards. Instead, it used them as cover, emerging from radiation clouds to strike, and then disappear again. On Earth, Dr. Alice Wright made an important discovery. Analysis of debris from a damaged collective ship revealed biological agents designed to attack carbon-based life. They're using weapons that would devastate most planets, she told Major Brown as they worked in a secure lab. But our immune systems are handling them differently. They're fighting the last war, Brown said. They don't understand what they're dealing with. In orbit, the battle continued. The Frontier had taken damage but remained combat effective. The crew worked through injuries that would sideline most species. Sir, Hayes called out, blood trickling from a cut on his forehead. Federation reinforcements have arrived. 3 Federation battleships emerged from faster-than-light travel. Their commanders watched in astonishment as the single human vessel continued to engage multiple collective ships. "Should we assist them?" asked a Federation captain. "I'm not sure they need our help," replied Commander Exceltherian, who had joined the relief force. "But yes, engage the enemy." The combined Earth Federation force pushed back the collective attack. As the last enemy ships retreated, Federation military observers gathered data on human combat performance. They continued fighting with hull breaches that would cause immediate evacuation for our crews. One observer noted. "Their reaction times under stress are remarkable," said another, "and their decision-making seems to improve during combat rather than deteriorate." Commander Exceltherian reviewed the battle recordings. "Update Earth's classification," he ordered. "Class 14. "Sir," questioned his aide, "Class 14 doesn't exist in our system." "It does now," Exceltherian replied. "No species we've encountered could fight like this. They evolved not just to survive their world, but to dominate it." On the damaged but victorious frontier, Captain Miller helped a wounded crew member. "We held the line," she said simply. Lieutenant Hayes nodded. "Yes, but this is just the beginning, isn't it?" Miller looked at the tactical display showing the retreating collective ships. "They'll be back, with more ships and better plans. We need to be ready." Across the solar system, Federation observers sent a clear message home. The humans are not just survivors. They are warriors unlike any we have seen before. 2 months after the first collective attack, humans had become a major topic of discussion throughout the galaxy. On the Federation trade hub World Nexus Prime, a group of young Vexorians had started wearing heavy weights to build their strength like humans. In the education centers of Loria, students studied Earth history with fascination and horror at the conflicts humans had survived. Lisa Parker, Earth's newly appointed ambassador to the Federation, walked through the grand market of harmonious unity with Science Officer Kiravex. She noticed many aliens watching her with a mixture of fear and admiration. "They're staring at me like I'm some kind of celebrity," Lisa said quietly. "In a way, you are," replied Kiravex. "Many species have started human preparedness training. Some military academies now have high-gravity chambers to prepare troops for emergency situations." Lisa smiled. "All because we can lift heavy things and don't mind spiders." "That simplifies it too much," said Kiravex. "I've been studying Earth's other life forms. Even your herbivores are more durable than most sentient species in the galaxy. Your planet shaped everything on it to be extraordinarily resilient." They passed a shop selling Earth goods. The merchant was proudly demonstrating a simple pocket knife to amazed customers. "Human cutting technology," the merchant announced, "designed for their harsh world." Lisa sighed. "It's just a Swiss Army knife." "Your perspective is valuable," said Kiravex. "What seems ordinary to you is remarkable to others." On another Federation world, Commander Exceltherian observed a training exercise. Federation soldiers attempted to complete an obstacle course designed to mimic Earth conditions. Most couldn't finish, collapsing from the effort. "This is only 80% of Earth gravity," Exceltherian told his aide. "And we've removed the more challenging elements." "How do humans live like this?" asked the aide. "They don't just live," Exceltherian replied. "They thrive." Back on Earth, Dr. Alice Wright led a Federation science team through Yellowstone National Park. The aliens wore protective suits against what they called extreme biodiversity exposure. These thermal features contain extremophile bacteria that can survive in conditions most life forms would find impossible, Dr. Wright explained at a colorful hot spring. "Like humans," whispered one scientist to another. Dr. Wright pretended not to hear. She was getting used to being seen as an extremophile herself. On a peaceful Federation agricultural world, Major Kevin Brown demonstrated Earth farming techniques to local food producers. "You deliberately burn your fields sometimes?" asked an alarmed alien farmer. "Controlled burns can help manage pests and return nutrients to the soil," Brown explained. "Nature on Earth often uses fire as a renewal tool. "Your planet uses destruction as creation," said the farmer. "This explains much about humans." In her laboratory on harmonious unity, Kerevx finalized her controversial paper on human adaptability. The title read, "Evolutionary Outcomes of Class 14 Planetary Pressure. Humans as the Ultimate Adaptive Species." Her colleague warned, "This will cause debate. Some council members won't like suggesting any species is ultimate at anything." "Science isn't about comfort," Kerevx replied. "The data supports my conclusion. Humans have adapted to conditions we previously thought would prevent advanced civilization entirely." On 17 Federation worlds, new phrases entered local languages. Earth tough became slang for anything extremely durable. Human style referred to approaching problems with direct, sometimes aggressive solutions. Death world vacation described any unnecessarily dangerous activity. Lieutenant John Hayes observed this cultural impact while visiting a Federation training academy. Young cadets asked him to sign their training manuals. Some even asked to touch his hands, amazed by the calluses that showed his body could repair tissue damage quickly. "I'm just a regular guy," he told them. "Not special among humans." "That's what makes your kind so remarkable," replied the academy instructor. "What you consider ordinary, we consider extraordinary." As human delegations visited more Federation worlds, a pattern emerged. Wherever humans could walk comfortably without special equipment, locals considered the area potentially dangerous. Places humans found pleasant became marked as extreme condition zones in Federation guides. And throughout it all, Ambassador Lisa Parker worked to assure the galaxy that humans came as friends, not conquerors, despite their frightening reputation as the creatures who evolved on a world so harsh it needed an entirely new classification. The Purity Collective's full-scale invasion began without warning. 27 Federation worlds came under attack simultaneously. The Collective had carefully chosen their targets, all Class 3 to Class 7 planets with comfortable environments and limited natural defenses. The Federation Council called an emergency meeting. High Counselor Vex Murrum's normally calm voice shook as he addressed the chamber. "Reports indicate heavy casualties on all attacked worlds. Our defense forces are overwhelmed." Ambassador Lisa Parker stood. "Earth is ready to help. We have ships prepared to deploy." Some council members looked doubtful. One spoke up. "This is a Federation matter." "The Collective attacked us first," Lisa reminded them. "We're all targets now." After brief deliberation, the Council authorized Earth's involvement. Within hours, 5 Earth vessels, including the repaired U.S. frontier under Captain Susan Miller's command, departed for the conflict zones. Lieutenant John Hayes coordinated with Federation forces. "Our ships can operate in conditions yours cannot," he explained to the Federation commander. "We'll take the most dangerous sectors." On Harmonious Unity, Dr. Alice Wright led a medical team preparing to treat casualties. The Federation doctors watched in amazement as the humans worked tirelessly for 30 hours straight, taking only short breaks. "Don't you need sleep?" asked a Federation doctor. "We'll sleep when the wounded are stable," Dr. Wright replied, injecting herself with stimulants that would have killed most alien species. The Collective had expected an easy victory. Their strategy counted on Federation species' limited tolerance for harsh conditions. They hadn't planned for human involvement. Earth ships, nicknamed death vessels by astonished alien observers, spearheaded counterattacks in radiation zones, asteroid fields, and gas giant atmospheres, places Federation and Collective ships normally avoided. Captain Miller's voice crackled over the comm as the Frontier pursued 3 Collective warships into a dense nebula filled with caustic gases. "Stay on them. They can't handle these conditions as long as we can." Her crew, though suffering from the toxic atmosphere leaking through damaged sections, maintained pursuit. The Collective ships, designed for clean environments, began failing first. Meanwhile, Science Officer Kerevx and Lieutenant Hayes made a disturbing discovery. They had infiltrated a damaged Collective vessel and accessed its computer core. "This is worse than we thought," Hayes said, examining the data. "They're building a super weapon designed to create Class 10 conditions across multiple star systems. It would kill billions," Kuravec said. "Any world rated Class 3 to 7 would become uninhabitable. But Class 14 worlds like Earth would be largely unaffected," Kuravec finished. "They mean to reshape the galaxy to eliminate species they consider weak." They transmitted their findings to Federation Command. The response was immediate. Locate and destroy the superweapon before deployment. On the Federation world Aethys Prime, Major Kevin Brown led a ground assault against collective forces. The planet's lighter gravity gave the human soldiers an unexpected advantage. They could jump higher and move faster than on Earth. "They're retreating," reported a Federation soldier. "They've never seen combat like this." Brown nodded grimly. "They attacked worlds they thought were soft targets. They didn't count on us." The Federation officers watched as human soldiers continued fighting with injuries that would incapacitate their own troops. One human medic treated a wounded comrade while bleeding herself, explaining casually, "It's just a flesh wound." Ambassador Lisa Parker addressed the Federation Council again as reports of successful counterattacks came in. "Earth volunteers to host training for a joint strike force," she proposed. "Soldiers from all Federation species who wish to learn human combat methods." "Training in Earth conditions would be extremely difficult for our people," said a counselor. "Yes," Lisa agreed. "That's precisely the point. The collective doesn't expect Federation forces to operate in harsh environments. We can change that expectation." High Counselor Vex Merim studied the human ambassador. "You are suggesting we become more like you." "I'm suggesting," Lisa said carefully, "that the galaxy is more dangerous than the Federation realized. Your peaceful worlds are beautiful achievements, but they've left you vulnerable. Earth can help strengthen you." As the Council debated, the war continued. The collective's initial advantage was fading as human ships and soldiers pushed them back on multiple fronts. For the first time, Federation military strategists began to see Earth not just as a curiosity, but as their greatest asset. 6 months after the Purity Collective's invasion began, the tide had turned decisively. Human-led forces had pushed back the enemy on all fronts. Now they prepared for the final operation, capturing the collective leadership and destroying their superweapon. The mission target was a hidden base on a moon orbiting a gas giant. The environment was lethal, crushing gravity, toxic atmosphere, and temperature extremes that would kill most species in minutes. "Perfect conditions for humans," Captain Susan Miller said as she briefed the Joint Strike Team. "The collective believes this base is unreachable because no Federation species could survive an assault there." Lieutenant John Hayes studied the tactical display. "Our suits can handle the conditions for 3 hours. That should be enough time." Major Kevin Brown nodded. "My ground team is ready. We've been training Federation special forces for this environment." Amazingly, 26 volunteers from various Federation species had completed the brutal training program on Earth. They now stood alongside the human soldiers, wearing enhanced protective gear. "We will not let you face this alone," said a Lorian soldier, his voice determined despite his obvious fear. The assault team boarded the transport vessels. Dr. Alice Wright supervised final medical preparations. "Remember, the stimulant injections will keep you functioning even with injuries," she told the Federation volunteers. "But report any breathing difficulties immediately." Science Officer Kuravec approached Hayes before departure. "I've analyzed the base schematics. The Super Weapon Control Center should be here." She pointed to a location deep within the facility. "We'll find it," Hayes promised. The attack began at dawn, Earth time. 3 human ships, including the U.S. frontier, created a diversion while the strike team landed on the moon's surface. The conditions were even worse than expected. Wind speeds approached 200 miles per hour, and the caustic rain ate through standard materials. "Move quickly," ordered Major Brown as they exited the landing craft. "The environment is our enemy as much as the collective." The collective guards were completely unprepared. They had never imagined anyone would attack through what they considered a natural barrier of death. The strike team breached the outer defenses within minutes. Inside, they split into two groups. Major Brown led one team to capture the collective leadership, while Lieutenant Hayes and Kiravex headed for the superweapon controls. "They're evacuating," Hayes reported as they fought through the corridors. "They know they've been compromised." Captain Miller's voice came through the comm. "We've intercepted their escape vessels. They're not getting away." When Hayes and Kiravex reached the superweapon control center, they found it abandoned but operational. A countdown timer showed less than 10 minutes until launch. "Can you disable it?" Hayes asked. "I'll buy you that time," Hayes replied as security doors burst open and collective soldiers poured in. What followed would become legendary in Federation military academies. Lieutenant Hayes held off multiple enemies while Kiravex worked, fighting with a determination that shocked even the hardened collective troops. When his weapon was damaged, he continued with a combat knife, moving with speed that seemed impossible in the high gravity. With seconds to spare, Kiravex shut down the superweapon. "It's done." Meanwhile, Major Brown's team had captured the collective leadership, including their supreme commander. The mission was a complete success. 3 months later, representatives from all Federation worlds gathered on Earth for a historic ceremony. For the first time, the Federation Council held a meeting on a Class 14 planet. High Counselor Vexmerum stood before the assembly. "Today, we formally recognize Earth's essential role in defeating the collective threat. Furthermore, we announce a new planetary classification system that removes the previous theoretical limit of Class 12. Ambassador Lisa Parker accepted the Federation's highest honor on behalf of humanity. "We never set out to be warriors," she said. "We simply evolved to survive on our world. Now we offer that strength in service of peace." After the ceremony, Commander Xeltharian, now promoted to Federation Admiral, gave a speech at the new Federation Academy on Earth. Cadets from 53 species listened as he recounted the story of first contact. "When we discovered Earth, we thought we had found an anomaly, a planet too harsh for intelligent life," he said. "Instead, we found our greatest allies." As he spoke, a small spider crawled across the lectern. Without breaking his speech, Admiral Xeltharian gently brushed it aside. Several cadets noticed and exchanged impressed glances. The galaxy had changed, and it all began with a Class 13 planet. Maybe 14 if you counted the spiders.